arrest me now. Come arrest me. I know you've got what it takes.
Born on a little mountain northeast of Newmarket called Fannis Jones. Well, Hale Mountain was a few miles north of that. And the way that Hale Mountain got its name was that the first Hale settled on that mountain. There's a range of mountains running up through there, and Fannis Jones Mountain was just one of the tops of the mountains. Hale Mountain was another top. People in those days seemed to name certain parts of the mountain after the people that either owned them or lived on the mountains for a long time. There was Billy Hale, my great-great-granddaddy, and then his son, Denny Hale, and his son, Herschel Hale, and I'm I think the fourth generation from the Hale Mountain Hales that established up there. It might have been five, there might have been another Hale involved in it, but that's where we come from. Herschel Hale was my father, as I said. Lily Mae Ricketts originally was my mother. And I have a brother, his name was Larry, and he's about 9 years younger than I am. And Herschel, his father was Denny, as I said. Denny was my granddaddy. And as I said, I have three sons, Max, Dexter, and Darrell, and of course their sons. And so the Hale keeps rolling right along. He was a beloved father, and he was a beloved grandfather. I always believed a Christian to be a born-again, confessed, baptized believer to whom the Lord has added to the church. That's my definition of what a Christian is. Now, as far as that is concerned, he wasn't. He wasn't that. And I have hopes of him. Of course, that's God, you know. We're told to judge nothing before the time until the Lord comes, who both will bring to light the hidden things of darkness and make manifest all the counsel of the hearts. And then shall every man have praise of God. And I just leave it there. In the last days of his life, he indicated some things and said some things that made me think that he was having some thoughts along that line, you know. And I sometimes kindly fault myself, even to the point of blaming myself for not. I was so busy going here and there and everywhere, you know, traveling here and there. I've traveled a lot in my lifetime. I'll tell you right now, it'd be thousands of miles that I've traveled, going here and there over the years that I preached. And I kind of fault myself by not getting more intimate with him and talking about these things, because he came to church on several occasions, and I believe that he would have been very easy to have talked to. But that don't change anything. It is what it is, you know. Believing in the predestination as I do, I can see the human side of it. And there are two sides to everything. There's a human side and there's a divine side. And the human side of that thing, I look at it and say, I wished, I desire that I'd have been more mindful of talking to him and speaking to him then of things. In fact, I feel a little condemned to this day without it.
That water runs down, down, down.
I was born on Fannis Jones Mountain, the son of Robert H. and Lily Mae Hale. And I grew up in a little town called Newmarket. And I was pretty rough. I was around that town, Newmarket up there. That's why whenever this thing hit me, my experience in grace after I had, I thought I was going to die. I got to where I hurt, and I went to the doctor after doctor, And I went to one doctor up here, and he said, we can't find anything physically wrong with you. He said, what do you do most of all? And I said, well, the most thing I do, I read the scriptures, I read the Bible a lot. He said, that's the worst thing in the world you could do. He said, you need to put that Bible up and take your family, go out for an outing or something like that, you know. He said, take your family out for with them more. But he told me that's the worst thing I could do was to study the Bible, you know. Well, I found out that he was wrong in that in the end. Well, I wasn't no good fella, that's for sure. I wasn't a good fella. But he sure showed me back, and that was a terrible time that I went through. I don't know how long I was going through that time. That I thought I could get relief through the doctors and all, but they couldn't give me no relief. And finally, right across town in old Lincoln Village over there, you might want to get this. I know some people don't believe it, but I don't care. It doesn't make no difference. Me and my first wife, it's about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I don't think this wasn't a dream. This wasn't a dream. I don't think. It was an in between, maybe. There's a light that lightened that room, and I don't know. It must have been, that light must have been the size of that wall there, and it was so bright. It was a crackling sound to it, and right in the middle of that was the face of a man, Jesus Christ. It was Jesus Christ to me. It wasn't the way you picture him. I'm not saying it's the way you picture him with long hair and this type of thing. It was just his face in that light. And there's a voice that said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Well, my wife, Elizabeth, she woke up and she said, what's wrong with you? Man, my joints shook, my hair stood on my head, stood up on my head. And I lay there and I thought about it for a while. I said, is this real? Yes, it was real. And from that time on, I began to get